Dr. Elizabeth Hafer wants you to get your head on straight. In a world gone sideways, having balance and integrity in all areas of life leads to having confidence that breeds clarity. Clarity is essential to living an authentic life, and all the information shared on the Get Your Head On Straight podcast is designed to inspire you to live your life fulfilled. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Get Your Head On Straight with Dr. Elizabeth Hafer. My guest today has an incredible story about how a Blair Upper Cervical correction changed his life. Kevin Pecca is my intern, and I am training him on how to become a Blair Upper Cervical chiropractor. You're not going to want to miss his incredible testimony on the power of a specific correction and how it changed his life. Welcome to the show, Kevin.
Okay. How's everybody doing? I chose chiropractic because chiropractic literally saved my life and gave me my life back. 6 years ago, I had a traumatic brain injury that left me with blurred vision, headaches, dizziness, brain fog, knee pain, anxiety, depression. And it literally just stripped me away of everything I was capable of doing. And it lasted about 4 years. And I didn't think I was ever going to come out of that dark place because I saw 3 medical doctors, 3 neurologists, a doctor of osteopathic, and a psychiatrist. And most of all told me, Kevin, you've had a traumatic brain injury. You might have to live with this for the rest of your life. And so they put me on seizure medication because I couldn't go to bed at night because my hands were always shaking. They put me on antidepressants because I told them I was depressed. And they wanted to boost my mood. And it wasn't that I was a depressed person. It was just I couldn't really function anymore. So they put me on antidepressants and they put me on painkillers to numb the pain. And I wasn't a huge fan of medication, but I took it because I exhausted all options I had and I would have done anything to get better at that point. So I took the medication. And after 3 months, I felt way worse than I did than the start of the concussion. And so I kind of believed all those people that told me, Kevin, you're going to have to live with this the rest of your life. So I just kind of believed it. And I slipped into a very dark, depressing place. And for the first time in my life, I didn't want to live anymore. And I woke up one morning and I said, I can't do this anymore. I think this is it. I'm done. And so I sat up and I started to cry. After about 3 or 4 minutes, I thought about it and I felt like that wasn't the right answer. That wasn't the way out. I needed to see this through and find the root cause of the problem. It took about another 2 years of more medical doctors, more chiropractors, more physical therapists. And I finally landed in a Blair Upper Cervical chiropractic office that completely saved my life. After my first adjustment, it completely turned the light back on in my life. For the first time in 4 years, I wanted to live again. I wanted to be here. I felt connected. I didn't feel depressed or had anxiety. Like literally the moment after my adjustment, I felt like my life coming back to me. And I walked outside and the colors on the trees were brighter and greener. I got home and I was literally telling everybody what just happened. And it was an amazing experience. And from that day on, I knew that I needed to become a chiropractor and help other people and turn their lives around and give them their life back.
So let me go back. You were under chiropractic care, like traditional full spine. You get your neck cracked and you feel better. You were under that kind of chiropractic care, and you were already in chiropractic college when you found out about Blair? Is that how it went down?
Well, I was under chiropractic care since the 3rd grade.
Okay.
And he was a very good chiropractor, always fixed me up. Didn't do the cracking of the neck, kind of did a little bit of a toggle adjustment, but it wasn't as specific as Blair.
Okay.
So that got me better. And then I was never really educated on the different philosophies, different type of techniques of chiropractic. So I just knew chiropractic worked. So in high school and college, I got my neck cracked and adjusted. Even after my incident, my concussions, I still went to get my neck cracked and it would work for probably about an hour or 2 where I would get some relief. And then I was in their office 3 or 4 times a week just trying to feel okay.
Okay.
So I've been under a ton of different chiropractic care, but nothing like the Blair technique.
Right. So I just wanted to kind of get that picture because you were under chiropractic care and it was giving you some relief, but it just wasn't long standing and you couldn't afford or you didn't have the time to be there 3 times a week, right?
It was almost like a natural painkiller, yeah.
Right. And obviously, chiropractic is an incredible thing where we reduce the issues of your nervous system and your body functions better. So the Blair chiropractic technique is something that is a little bit more specific for people out there listening and kind of wondering, what are we talking about? And it's something that I'm super passionate about as a doctor. And one of these days you'll get to hear my testimony, but I really wanted to start with Kevin because his transformation has been so incredible. The first time that I got to meet him, it was about 2 years ago. And I met him at his college, Los Angeles College of Chiropractic. And I went up there just to volunteer and introduce students to a different concept of a chiropractic philosophy, some stuff that they weren't learning at their school. And I'm a big believer in when you give back, it's given back. So I was basically kind of tithing into my profession and the future of my profession by giving my time to the students at this college. And I met Kevin and he was really excited because he'd actually heard of the work that I did with another amazing chiropractor, Dr. Drew Hall. So he had been under care with Dr. Hall and he wanted to find out if there was any way that we could get him approved to come to our office and do an internship. So we filled out the application through Precision Chiropractic and we got approved. And then he was able to come down and actually start doing observation for college credit. And it's pretty cool because when you go to chiropractic school, the first year is just basic sciences, right? And we have to learn all of the anatomy, all of the physiology. We have to know why the body works the way it works. And it's similar to medical school in that respect. Where we differ, where chiropractic starts to go in a different direction, is when instead of learning how to prescribe medication or how to do surgery, we take that application of human physiology and we apply it to the innate understanding that we have as a philosophical principle that our bodies can heal itself. So we do chiropractic spinal adjustments to allow the nervous system to heal our body. So the final few years of your education, you're actually learning how to do adjustments. So Kevin had been under chiropractic care, it sounds like, since he was in 3rd grade. And then he met Dr. Hall, who then did a very specific Blair Upper Cervical correction that changed his life, which what amazing testimony that is. And then I get the opportunity to meet him 2 years ago. And for the last 2 years, he's been in my office either observing or learning how to take x-rays, learning how to take notes, and just being a good doctor. And he's actually been able to bring patients in from the community and convince them as a student to let him adjust them. And as far as I can say, it's going great. The people that he's had under care have gotten great results. And there's a number of conditions that he's helped, but most notably, we take care of a man who already had spinal surgery and had fusion in his neck. And the neat thing about the work that we do is that it's so specific. We're not worried about disc issues. We're not worried about previous surgery because we're not dealing with kind of unspecific manipulation. We're really working with the fine joints in the neck. So we don't have any cause of concern necessarily when people have had neck issues that are longstanding. And that's been really neat to see him as a student, not even going out into practice yet, have the confidence and skill set to be able to deliver a correction that's going to help people heal. So, Kevin, I want to know, like at your college, because Blair specific, upper cervical, specific chiropractic, and maybe even the philosophy of chiropractic, the way that we understand it, that we're innate bodies that heal, and we have this thing called innate intelligence, what would you tell people who are interested in learning more about chiropractic?
That want to, like, as far as what school to go to?
Well, even somebody listening who is just a person seeking out something different. Like maybe they're going to a chiropractor 3 times a week and it's just not helping them get to the level they want to get to. Or they're afraid of chiropractic and they don't want to start having to go 3 times a week. What would you say to somebody listening that isn't even necessarily in school yet? What would you tell them just as far as in general for chiropractic? What would you want them to know?
Well, there's probably over 200 techniques of chiropractic, and there's different philosophies. There's light force techniques. There's some that are a little heavier than others. But as far as chiropractic goes, I would say you'd have to find the technique that's best for you that clears out the interference in the nervous system. And if there was a better technique than the Blair Upper Cervical technique, I would be doing it. I've studied a bunch of different chiropractic techniques. I've been probably under at least 10 to 12 different chiropractic techniques, and Blair Upper Cervical, it's literally changed my life. It's changed how I look at the world, what I want to do with my life, and it's literally the only technique that makes sense to me. You know, what's great about it is you know exactly when to adjust, when not to adjust. You have different tools that tell you that there's nerve interference, and when there's not, there's no guessing. And what I love about it is why I think it worked for me, because nobody's had the same traumas as I have or you've had. Nobody is built the same way as me or you. So why would you give that person the same adjustment as you give everybody else? That's what really made sense to me with Blair. The asymmetry analysis of how one side of the bone can be different than others. And when other chiropractic techniques are just feeling on your neck and they feel, oh, this side is a little more restricted or there's more tension on this side, and they just crack it. They don't really know why they're doing that. They're just feeling. Whereas we have the x-ray analysis, we have the Titron scanner, we have the leg checks, we have the hip height, and we know exactly what we're doing, why we're doing it, and to clear the interference out of the nervous system. And it's beautiful because I spent a good 2 years in doctor's offices trying to get better, and I based my life around that. Like, I have a doctor's appointment at 3 p.m. I got to call out of work early. I need to be there. And that was happening 3 or 4 times a week and completely just dominating my life. And I couldn't really live. And then I came across the Blair technique, and you could literally save someone's life in one adjustment. It's the most amazing thing. Like, those adjustments, as we know, can hold weeks to months to years. My adjustment's been holding for 3 years now. And before that, I was getting cracked 3 or 4 times a week, and I wasn't really getting better. And who knew that a couple adjustments could just completely save my life, because it keeps it in place. It keeps the interference away. And this was the first technique where I felt the healing actually happening within my body. Like, I felt my spine getting straighter and my posture better. I felt the nerves in my neck retracing and like twitching a little bit, and just all over my body. You feel the healing, which is beautiful about it.
I like that. You're feeling the healing. That's like a new catchphrase. So yeah. I obviously hear the passion that you have, because your life was transformed. You suffered from concussion. You suffered from debilitating headaches. At one point, you were admittedly suicidal. And all of those things have improved with a technique called the Blair Upper Cervical technique. And obviously, this show is about getting your head on straight. And a big way that I go about doing that in life is through the work that I do as a Blair chiropractor. I'm not going to have every single show be about the Blair technique, but I just wanted you to come on today to really give some hope to people out there that are listening, to understand that, you know what, when you get healed, you find your passion. And it just happens to be that your passion is to do the very thing that healed you. So I'm really excited that you were here today. Do you have any advice for chiropractic students that are in school and maybe not so enamored with the field that they've chosen? I know that there's probably people out there that get so burnt out with taking tests and exams and getting through every day that they can't fathom learning another thing. What would you say to a student who may be listening that they can and could possibly, have the same experience with this?
Well, there's a lot of students that I know of in my school and probably many other schools that they're in the chiropractic program, but they just kind of feel lost. They don't know why they're doing it. Some people feel like it's a good profession to make a lot of money. Some people just want to help people, but they don't realize they're just kind of going through the motions. They're taking tests. They don't really know why they're doing it. And I would just tell them to keep exploring the technique that works for them. My school is not very heavy in philosophy, and they teach one technique pretty strongly. So I had to go out and find people where I can get answers from. And that's what I think is pretty important for students. The more doctors you know, you've changed my life, Dr. Hall's changed my life. I would have never gotten that experience if I just stayed in my little school bubble and just listened to what they taught me. I've gotten an entire chiropractic education outside of my chiropractic school. My school is very good. They're very great at preparing you for boards and everything. But I found my calling outside of school. They didn't really teach the Blair technique in school. I wouldn't have known about it if my friend didn't tap me on the shoulder one day. He saw that I was suffering and he was tutoring me. He's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I think I might have to drop out of school. I don't think I can do this chiropractic thing." And he goes, "I know somebody that might be able to help you." And sure enough, it was a Blair doctor, and it changed my life. So get out there, meet as many doctors as you know, and do what you feel is right. I personally think the Blair technique is the best technique, but if it's not for you, find what it is for you. As long as they're taking away interference and they know what they're doing and getting your head on straight, then it's a good technique, and chiropractic works.
I agree with you. So what I heard you say there is that you were basically being vulnerable. A buddy saw that you were struggling, and then, you were vulnerable enough to admit that, hey, I don't know what's going on. And so you know what? I think being truthful and being real and making sure that you're not putting on this fake fine all the time is really important too. So that's one thing that I've noticed as a doctor. I can kind of see past the fake fine and get to the root issue. And we do a lot of stuff in our office. It's pretty cool. And we get a lot of great results. So you know what, Kevin? I'm so excited for your future. When do you graduate from chiropractic school?
I graduate December 18th, this December.
That is absolutely fantastic. So where are you going to be practicing once you are done with chiropractic college?
I will be in Montclair, New Jersey, taking over Montclair Upper Cervical Chiropractic. It's an existing practice with Dr. Banish in Montclair, and it's a third generation Blair practice, one of the oldest upper cervical offices in the country. And I'm very excited. I can't wait to get out there and start healing people.
Wow. I'm really looking forward to all the things that you're going to do, Kevin. Thank you so much for coming on my podcast, Get Your Head On Straight. I feel like you've inspired so many people, and I know that I am so inspired by the passion that you have. I look forward to seeing what you're going to do in the future, and you're going to make a difference in so many people's lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to Get Your Head On Straight with Dr. Elizabeth Hafer. Visit wellconnectedchiro.com for more details from the show blog post and to learn what Blair Upper Cervical Chiropractic can do for you. To learn more about Dr. Hafer and her practice, you can find her at Well Connected Chiropractic in Mission Viejo, California by visiting wellconnectedchiro.com for more information.